Hi, Vienna Little League and families. My name is Dr. David Gustitus from Whole Body Health Chiropractic here in Vienna, and I want to welcome you to my office. This is my space. This is where I take care of my patients. And what I want to do is share with you some tips and strategies, some ways that can help you guys prevent injuries and also perform at your best in this upcoming season. So first of all, I want to share with you a little bit about chiropractic and why it's so important. Because we take care of the spine and the nervous system. Now, the spine is the center of all movement in the body, and the nervous system is the part of your body that controls everything else. So your brain controls everything in your body, all movements and all functions in your organs and your systems by sending energy from the brain down the spinal cord, through that spine and out through all the nerves. If your spine is healthy and aligned properly, then all those nerves will be functioning properly and without damage. But if you have spinal misalignments, that can damage or irritate those nerves and cause disruption between the brain and the rest of the body. So what I'm going to talk to you today are some tips and strategies about how you can get your spine ready for a practice, for your season, and going forward. All right, so first of all, I want to give you a warm-up / flexibility exercise that will help you to get your spine ready for practice and for playing baseball. So first of all, just realize that your spine has three main directions of movements. First of all, you go forward and you can go backwards. You can go side, you can go to the other side, and you can also rotate left and right, okay? So three basic movements. So what I want you to do is start off with doing a flexibility exercise that will help you warm up. Bend forward, touch the floor, go all the way down, count to 10, and then come all the way back up, arch as far as you can, and count to 10. We're going to go side to side. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to reach down the one leg with the same side arm and reach over the top with the other arm. Reach for the sky and count to 10. Do the other side. I'm just going to go through these motions with you, and you guys can do it on your own. Reach to the other side, count to 10, and then we're going to put our arms way out, big and strong, and we're going to rotate our body all the way to the one side. Again, count to 10, and then the other side, count to 10 again, okay? But we're going to split it up into two parts because the neck sometimes doesn't get all the motion that the rest of our body does, that our trunk does. So for our neck, we're going to do the same idea. I'll show you from the side for the head down, count up to 10, head back, same thing, ear to shoulder, but don't cheat, don't raise that shoulder up, let your shoulder stay down, ear to shoulder, count to 10, ear to your other shoulder, same thing, and now we're going to turn. We want to bring our chin over our shoulder, count to 10 again, and then the other way, same thing. Now, moms and dads, you can also participate. You can help your little one participate in this and do it for yourselves as well. Just think about the throwing motion or the hitting motion. So if you're to throw a baseball, realize that it's not just your arm doing the throwing, especially if you're trying to throw a long distance. You're going to get a big step in there, open up your body, open up your trunk, get your thoracic and your lumbar spine involved, your arms way back here, you're going to point where you're going to throw it, and then you're going to get this whole body motion into it. That requires all this part of your body is warmed up, flexible, and strong, okay? So that's what I focus on with chiropractic is full body alignment and full body motion. So as you're doing these warm-ups, you're getting your spine ready, okay, not only flexible as you count to 10, and also keep in mind you can count to higher than 10, all right? You can go maybe count to 20, or you can count to 10 and then do that twice. Both are variations on the same thing, but just think about as you throw, you want your rib cage and your thorax, this part of your spine, to rotate back, arch back, and be the first part. As you stabilize, you plant your foot, and you actually open up your pelvis, your hips, and you contract here first, and then you rotate your upper body, and then you throw with your arm. If this part is not moving as well, if it's not as flexible, then what happens is the shoulder and the elbow and the hand work too hard, because if I can't turn back, I'm going to really crank and push my arm back, making the shoulder work too hard to try to make that throw happen, okay? So that's one great warm-up exercise that I want you to start off with. Do that at home. I would do that every day, okay? Getting your spine flexible, limber, and warmed up is just a great way to start your day. Same for you moms and dads. Now, my other exercise that I want to share with you is this. This is the one where we're going to do an elbow touching your knee, but you're going to cross your midline. So your midline, imagine an imaginary line coming down your middle of your body, opposite elbow to opposite knee. You're going to bring them together and crossing both the middle of your body and then set it down. And then the same thing over here, crossing over here and putting them together. So we can start off here. If you want to start off with this position, big and strong, bring your elbow down to that knee and elbow down to that knee and go back and forth. Do that 10 times each side. And as you do this, feel more comfortable. Now you can step up to doing it with your eyes closed. Okay, see if you can do that. Opposite elbow to opposite knee. Do that with your eyes closed. It's a good test for your balance and your body awareness. Go ahead and try that at home. Now, the last exercise is specific for the shoulder and the elbow. Try to get range of motion in there and strength through moving through full range of motion of that shoulder. So what I want you to do is start off with your thumbs pointing down, arms crossed. Start with your left arm over the right. It doesn't really matter which one you start with, but let's start with the left over the right. Thumbs pointing down. And then what you're going to do is you're going to open up and then reach way back with thumbs pointing up. Now watch how this evolves. Thumbs are pointing down. I'm going to open up my shoulders by here. Thumbs are pointing up, and then I'm reaching back behind me, okay? So it's a gradual rotation. Here, let's do it this way. It's a little easier to see. Thumbs pointing down here. Thumbs pointing parallel to the ground here, and then by the time you come up, now they're pointing up and back, okay? Let's try it that way. It's a little easier to follow. So thumbs pointing down, thumbs pointing out to the sides, and then thumbs pointing up and back. Try that at home. Do that 10 times. If you want to add, a light weight, you can. If you want to add something like a stretch band, like one of those stretchy bands, and attach it to something on the floor here, you can go like this. And that would be a great exercise to help with the rotator cuff, help strengthen that shoulder, especially if you've had injuries. You always want to avoid painful movements if you've had an injury. But if you haven't had an injury or try to prevent one, you still want to start off light and work your way up to more strength, more exertion as you go. Don't start off with really hard because you might injure yourself just by doing this preventative activity. So start off with light, work your way up, let those movements open up your shoulder, strengthen all the rotator cuff with this movement. That would be great. And then do the other side. Same thing with that stretchy band if you want to do it that way. Otherwise, like I said, you could hold on to something in your hand. It could be a soup can. It could be a 5-pound weight. It could be something really light like that. And then you can do both hands at once this way. Okay? Now, last flexibility exercise. Try to reach over the top with one hand over your back. Reach down with that hand. And then with the other hand, reach up to try to touch that hand and clap. Now, the kids are probably going to have an easier time with this, okay? But sometimes if you're using one side too much compared to the other, they can get stiff, they can have prior injuries, and then maybe make the other side harder, okay? So try to go both sides and notice if one side's harder than the other. That will reflect an imbalance in your flexibility and in your range of motion, perhaps in your thoracic spine that needs to be addressed, perhaps in your neck that is causing some tightness or some restriction in those muscles, or a shoulder muscle, shoulder girdle, rotator cuff injury or tightness that needs to be worked on, released, and rehabilitated, okay? So those are some strategies, ways that you can start the season right with some good fundamental range of motion spinal strengthening, shoulder strengthening exercises that will be staples in your athletic bag. So have a great season. I look forward to sharing more information with you in the future and meeting you all. Thank you.